Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to answer a question from a viewer regarding the video I made yesterday about how the Supreme Court is finally taking up a Second Amendment case, and not just any Second Amendment case, but one that could guarantee the right to carry a gun for self-protection outside your home as a constitutionally protected right. Much like how Heller dispelled this argument of, the Second Amendment's a collective right, even though no other right in the Bill of Rights is a collective right. They tried to say that about the Second Amendment. Heller said, nope, it's an individual right. And if they rule in our favor for this upcoming case in December, it would declare that your right to carry a gun outside your home for self-defense is also constitutionally protected. Not only is it an individual right, but you also have a right to carry that gun outside your home. That would be a great thing. And some people ask me, well, great, if we got that kind of victory, what would be next? What would we need to do next? Well, there's lots of things we would need to do next. This would be a great battle and would settle a lot of disputes. Put a lot of people on the defensive that have been on the offensive, as far as anti-gunners are concerned. But it wouldn't be the whole fight. It's not even close to the whole fight. There will still be battles to come. It's not like the anti-gunners are just going to lay down and accept it anyway. They're going to lay down and accept it pretty much just like, the anti-abortion people accepted Roe versus Wade, or the churches accepted gay marriage. They're going to keep fighting it and try to get it overturned, but they would be fighting from a much weaker position than they ever were fighting from before. So it will still be a great victory for us. But a lot of people are asking me, well, what do we do next? Well, I think one of the things we could do next is we have two options. One, we can run around gloating about the fact that, it is a constitutional right, it is an individual right, and we do have a right to carry, so fuck all you anti-gunners. Or we can be mature adults and say, now that that's been settled by the courts, let's get the people that are just anti-gun for their own reasons, like politicians and the people who lead gun groups and stuff like that, or, the anti-gun groups like what's his name, David Hogg, all those people that are just in it for the money. That's the only thing they're in it for. Once that's taken away from them, they'd probably go away anyway if we can manage to take that away. But and I think one of the ways we could most take that money away from them is if the gun community as a collective would come together and say, now that we've affirmed our rights, taken a huge step towards affirming them, let's address gun violence. Let's do something about it. The people that are actually concerned about saving lives that are lost to firearms every year, not having a political agenda and wanting to demonize an object, blah, blah, blah. The people that are actually concerned about lives, let's have the gun community say, hey, now that this is settled, that this is our rights and you're not going to be able to take them away from us, you can maybe come to realize that, hey, we have to find another way to stop gun violence. And when I say gun violence, I just mean violence. Because, I'll admit, gun violence is high in our country compared to other countries, but that's only because that is the tool that's commonly available here. In other countries, spouses kill their spouse with bludgeons or knives. Gangs kill each other with machetes or AK-47s if they have them. But in a lot of places, they don't have firearms, so they just resort to a different tool. Far more violence, far more death than we have here. It just so happens here that the tool that's often readily available is a gun, which I'm kind of glad of because I'd rather people use guns for violence than bombs, to be honest. I would hate to be like some Middle Eastern places where if they don't have guns, they just build shrapnel bombs. They build pipe bombs and they throw them into school buses and things like that. I can't fight that. If I'm on a city bus and someone runs on with a gun and starts trying to take people out, that I can fight. I have a chance. If they throw a pipe bomb in the middle and jump off or whatever, I can't fight that. So I'm kind of glad guns are available. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to some people, but it does to me. Doesn't make a lot of sense to anti-gunners. I think it makes most gun people get it. But like I said, if we could finally come together with those people and say, now let's actually look for real solutions to why people are misusing firearms. It's mostly domestic stuff. Maybe we should start offering more support for things like that. more mental health care, more marriage counseling, and just more opportunities for people in general so that they don't get to a state where their whole life is this other person, where they're so codependent. Teach people early on to be able to manage their own business and to be happy with themselves, and to give them more opportunities to be financially secure on their own. We'd see a lot less of this domestic violence if people didn't think that they have to have this other person to live. A lot of issues there we could start addressing if we weren't draining a lot of our resources from both sides into fighting over the tools that are used. If this happens, when we win in this case, I think this is a step to not be assholes. Remember when we had a lot of first-time gun buyers and a lot of people on the left buying guns last year? And that was a perfect opportunity for the gun community as a whole to start reaching out to these people and have a whole new group of people in the Second Amendment community that could bring different perspectives and could influence different people. Instead, when they would come onto a channel and ask a question, people would ridicule them. Some of the bigger gun channels would just ridicule them. Now you're buying a gun, huh? I guess you're just fucking stupid all the time, blah, 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 all that shit. Instead of saying, welcome, we're glad you saw the light, it was, fuck you, you took too long. That didn't do us any good. Lost us a lot of potential allies. So now, if we could, like I say, join together with the people that are really concerned about saving lives, saving children, getting people out of gangs, we can start doing things like, hey, let's do after-school programs. Let's do more counseling for married people. Let's provide child care for people so they can actually work and earn better livings. Let's provide better educational opportunities. Let's do inner city outreach stuff. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do all kinds of things. Let's deal with mental health for suicides. Helping with suicides would wipe out the vast majority of the deaths we have in this country. So if we could just do those things, we would be a force to be reckoned with if both sides could come together. Like I said, I'm not talking the anti-gunners that are just trying to disarm us because they're politicians and they want to stay in power. I'm not talking about the people who are making money off of demonizing firearms, like David Hogg and that senator chick, whatever her name is, Gabby Giffords, and her husband, the most disingenuous person I've ever seen. But a big victory like this provides us an opportunity, one we missed last summer with all the people on the left buying guns, to actually once again reach out across the aisle and say, we care too. When we see a child get killed by a firearm, when we see something like Sandy Hook, we shed as many tears as you do. The only difference is we don't fall prey to that, well, it was the tool's fault. We actually want to seek solutions. And if maybe the battle over the tools become less of a thing, we can work together and actually save lives. Now, there's other ways we could save a lot more lives than dealing with gun violence. If we did away with drunk driving, and reckless driving, we'd save far more lives. Hell, if we just raised the minimum driving age to 18, we'd probably save way more lives than we would if we got rid of every gun tomorrow. So there's lots of things we could do to save more lives than deal with guns, but this would at least be something that could unify us into working for a common cause, to actually make life better for people to where they don't take their lives and other people's lives. It would be an opportunity to work together. There'll still be battles. Believe me, there's going to be lots of fights for our rights. But if every chance we get, we can reach out a little bit to the people, like I say, on the other side that care for the right reasons and bring them more onto our side, and they can say, well, look at how responsible these gun people are being, and look how much work they're doing to try to save the people they can and make it to where guns are not misused. That would be a great thing. And I hope we as a gun community don't miss that opportunity, because opportunities like that don't come very often. So we will celebrate the victory. I will celebrate the victory. But I'm not going to celebrate the victory and burn down the opposition's house. You know what I mean? I'm not going to burn their territories just because my territory won. I'm going to welcome them into the same tent, basically. I'm going to say now, if you want to step away from the rhetoric and the bullshit and the fights over the Second Amendment and actually start trying to make progress, let's work together and make progress. And it isn't going to involve restricting people's rights. It's going to involve making America a better place for people, working together as a community to help each other. Because right now, so many resources are going to, like I said, demonize guns or defend the Second Amendment. And a lot of that money, the vast majority of the money that's going to both of those fights is going into the pockets of the people who are supposedly trying to win the fight. They're not trying to win, they're just trying to fight. So if we could eliminate that, imagine what we could do with that. If instead of giving $100 to an anti-gun, gun rights battle in Michigan or wherever, you could give that $100, donate it to an after-school program in an inner city, imagine how much more good could be done. And if that was one less kid in a gang, how much better off would we be? If it was one less wife who feeling depressed and sad or whatever, or one less husband, having mental issues or fighting with financial issues, etc., to where they get to where they're despondent, they feel like they have nothing to live for. If we could stop those things, we'd do so much good together. So like I said, this isn't the end of the fight. This will be a major victory, but there'll still be lots of fights to come. But let's not lose that opportunity to reach across the aisle and make some allies instead of enemies. All right, I want to move on to my favorite part of the show, gun talk. And today I want to answer a question from a viewer who asked me, who makes the best aftermarket grips? Well, you know what? I'm going to give you 3 answers here because there's 3 different things I look for when I go looking for grips. First off, I'm going to say, if you want something classic, something wooden, something just, beautiful, go to Hogue. Hogue still makes some of the best wood grips on the market. There's other great options like Altamont, etc., but Hogue is just top-notch as far as I'm concerned. If you're just wanting good, classic wood grips, go to Hogue. They also make some great G10 grips, some that I love, that I put on a lot of my guns. But when I want a nice, practical G10 grip with a good texture on it, good colors, everything else, I usually go to VZ Grip. VZ makes a lot of different colors of grips, lots of different textures, lots of different sizes and shapes, and I think that they come into the perfect size. They make them a little bit smaller than the Hogue grips, but still big enough to get a full 3 fingers, even on like a small snubby or a J frame or a KL frame. So they make the perfect size, and they have lots of options for colors and patterns and textures. So VZ is where I go if I just want a nice practical G10 grip. Now, if I want a grip that's got some flair to it, something fancy, something with a cool design on it, I go to Lock Grips. Lock Grips are just awesome. I have my Godzilla grips from Lock Grips. I have my Punisher grips, my Deadpool grips, my Cobra Commander brass grips. Just most of the grips I have that are really cool come from Lock Grips. They're just awesome. They just do some really creative things. So those are my favorite grips if I want something kind of special. So there you have it. If I want something classic and classy, it's a good wooden Hogue grip. They have such a variety of woods. You can get a lot of different looks and different patterns on them. Just beautiful grips. So that's what I go with. Sometimes I'll go with Hogue for G10, but usually I'll go to VZ if I want just a nice practical G10 grip. And if I want something special, like I usually do, my first choice is Lock Grips. All right, as usual, today I'm going to end the show with our viewer EDC. And today we have Adam C. Now Adam's got a pretty generic setup here. He's carrying his Glock 30 SF, which by the way stands for short frame, not slim frame. It just means it has a shorter reach. A lot of people think it means it's a slimmer gun. No, it's just got a shorter reach on it. And it is a 45 caliber gun, and he's in California, so he's limited to 10+1, so, 45 makes a good sense there. And he's carrying inside waistband. Now, this isn't a really super fancy setup here, but it's a nice, clean, practical setup. Glock makes a great carry gun, and this is no exception here. These are really nice guns. Now, when I did see it from another angle, I saw his Rule 2 double tap here, so we have a fellow Zombieland fan there. So that gives him extra points. Although he does kind of then lose those extra points because of the untidiness of the floor there. It's called a Roomba. Look into it. That's my suggestion for you. But, as I was looking and saying, oh, he needs to tidy up, I actually almost missed what was above. And then I kind of panned up in the picture and I was like, what the fuck? What is this? You know, I'm not someone who is judgmental about mandals. I wear them all the time. But this is some next level bullshit here. What is this? Are those sheer socks? Are you wearing sheer socks with a toe separation in them with your sandals? I mean, socks with sandals, I can almost get. I'll be like, maybe he's German. But this is some weird stuff here. I mean, this was, I don't know. I don't know if I can get on board with this. I mean, I'm pretty accepting. I say live and let live. Let everybody be themselves, be their true selves. But I don't know. Even if you got yourself a special letter in the alphabet mafia for people who wear sheer socks with sandals, I don't know if I get accepted. I might get accused of hate crime for the things I would think about it. But I don't know. That just threw me off completely. I don't even know what to say. So I guess I'm just going to end this by saying that's our concealed carrier of the day, Adam C. with his Glock 30SF and his sheer socks and his sandals. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I'll sign off as usual by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, you know, it is what it is. It could be better, but it ain't that bad. But what it will be in the future if we continue to ignore the fearmongers and the profiteers and the people who just want to manipulate us so that they can make money off of us, if we ignore those people and continue to keep level heads about us and fight for our rights, what things will be, possibly in the very near future, is better.